We are live. The last speculation Sunday of 2024. I can't believe New Year's Eve is what? Tuesday? Tuesday.
It's weird when you put it into that perspective. I didn't think about it that way.
Danny, this is it, dude. 2024 is gone. What a year it's been, though. I've loved it. I love 2024. 2024 has been great. We got Just Ask Danny in the house. How has your weekend been, Danny?
Pretty good, pretty mellow actually. Not really a lot going on. We weren't able to go to Disneyland, right? Because we're blocked. But I feel like we wouldn't want to have gone anyway, based on what we've been seeing.
You think so? I feel like I can make a really busy day at Disneyland work. You know, you watch the shows, walk around, mobile order, probably not get on any ride, but I would still have fun. Still
figure out a way.
What do the wait times look like? I haven't even looked right now.
I haven't looked recently either.
Like, I wonder what day has been the worst out of this week. Like, was it Monday, Tuesday? I have no idea. Let's see. I'm just curious. I want to look real quick. It's 7:00, and Space Mountain is 75. Indy is 60. Thunder Mountain 35. Haunted's only 45. Tiana's 20. It's not that bad. I feel like it's not that bad.
Yeah, not too bad right now, but it was bad earlier. I think it's gotten, well, if you stepped outside at all, it's really, at least here in Orange County, it's really foggy and cold. Almost like it looks like it's going to rain. So I feel like that really kept people away from staying too late in the night because they're just getting too cold. They probably want to leave.
But check this out. California Adventure, 45 minutes for Monster Inc., 50 for Tower, 65 for Web Slingers, Radiator Spring Racers, 150 right now at 7:00 at night. 150. That's two and a half hours. If me and Danny got in line right now, we're gonna get out at like 10:00 at night.
People are commenting, Mondo, that your title is wrong because you're saying last speculation of 2025. So like,
oh my Lanta, we're from the future. Oh my Lanta. Let me see. Let me change it. Wow, we went. How was Paint the Night, Danny? We already did it all.
We already experienced it.
Oh man, my mind's too. I've just been daydreaming about summer in 2025, dude. I've just been daydreaming. All right, I fixed it. Thank you. Everybody thought we're from the future. Hold on, let me keep looking at these wait times. Incredicoaster 75. Even Emotional Whirlwind is at 30. Damn. That's wild. Soarin's at 50. It seems like DCA is the one getting rocked right now, not Disneyland. But DCA is where all the cool foods are. You know, they got the Festival of Holidays and a bunch of bands everywhere. So I guess I could see it.
Well, we got people in the chat saying last night's bonfire chat was epic. What'd you guys talk about? I missed that one last night.
We just went back in time, Danny. I didn't even get to talk about the one thing I was trying to talk about. What happened?
Like sometimes when we go back in time on speculation and like look at some of the stuff in the past.
So yesterday I did a bonfire and we just looked at, I guess you could say like the last 20 or 30 years of Universal Studios Hollywood, and you'd be shocked at all the wild and odd things that you see. You're just like, what? Like that was at Universal. Like, it's crazy, dude. Universal. I'm sure Disneyland's the same when we look backwards, but the one thing I really wanted to talk about was attendance, and I never got to that yesterday, so I wanted to get to that today. But we were just talking about the last like all these different things that existed at Hollywood. We got super chat from Christian dropping the fire. When will Star Wars Night start selling, Mondo? When will Star Wars Night start selling? I feel like it's January, right, Danny? Do you think it's January or probably the first week of February? Honestly, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, probably like January, February. Think about it, they just sold tickets for Sweethearts Night and for 90s Night. 90s Night is in March, and Sweethearts Night is in February. And we were buying those tickets in, what was it? Was it December, Mondo, or was it November we were buying them?
Man, I'm trying to remember.
I think it was like November, right?
So I just Google searched it from last year. It says that February 23rd is when when the tickets went for sale. So
Yeah, but keep in mind though, this year it's a little bit earlier.
so I would say the first week of February. That's
Yeah,
I go to.
I would say probably more so February than January. That's probably right.
To ask about Star Wars Night, Danny, do you think there was enough feedback of like where the hell was the fireworks show and they bring back the fireworks this year? Or Disneyland's like, nah, we ain't doing that.
I don't know. I hope so. I hope they really do bring it back. I think that was one of the coolest things about Star Wars Night. I think what they were trying to avoid um, potentially was everyone cramming into Galaxy's Edge to watch the fireworks show
Mhm.
on an after dark event like that, and then no one watching it on Main Street, which could be the case because they do that special show, and you have to kind of like choose like which one would you be getting, kind of thing. So
I know, and Star Wars fans would love to be in Galaxy's Edge better, right? You're in Star Wars land, you're watching the Star Wars fireworks. Uh, I don't think the Star Wars night people are going to get the projections, right? The projections are not until May. I can't remember. There's so many things going on right now. But yeah, I say first week of February, Christian. That's my best bet. Uh, I want to talk about this. Somebody just commented this. Where'd it go? Knott's was packed yesterday. Ghost Rider was like 3 hour wait. So my mom went to Knott's Berry Farm, I think yesterday too, and she said it was miserable. Like it's so packed, you ain't walking nowhere easily. Everywhere you walk, it's hard. There's people everywhere. You're trying to get food, you're probably waiting about an hour to an hour and a half, practically everywhere. The worst ride at Knott's was 1 hour. Like wherever you go, like you couldn't even do Snoopy on Ice because those lines were so ridiculous. Like it, and currently, I didn't know this until my mom told me. Knott's has the whole like bring a friend for free right now. So you're trying to go to Knott's in the next like 5 days. It's just it's rough. You have been warned. You have been warned. And I really want to go to Knott's, but I don't know if I'm ready for that.
yeah, yeah. Another thing we need to do too, Mondo. We have like 3 days to renew our pass.
Mhm.
We haven't renewed our pass yet for the new year.
I'm
So
I'm leaning more to renewing my Knott's pass, but I don't know if I'm gonna go like the
I
full.
want Mondo to do Prestige with me so we can go on
Yeah,
the
that's what I
last.
was gonna say. I don't know if I go the full shebang of a prestige,
Nothing,
but
nothing beats for me. Prestige is worth it just for the parking alone. Let alone you get to do fast lane once per visit. You get the preferred parking. You get the access to the lounge with the snacks and the free refills inside. It just makes it worth it to me. Like all that stuff. I'm never there early enough to enjoy the Prestige entrance, but I see it. It's just always closed by the time I get there. But the preferred parking is like the jam, especially during Scary Farm.
just to park in that 10-minute area. So
Mhm.
packed. Good evening, James. Going to Disneyland September 8th to the 15th. Will they still be celebrating the 70th? Uh,
Yeah, no.
it's Halloween. As weird as that sounds. Halloween. Uh, we won't get the 70th celebration back until like January, right? January 2026.
Well, he's talking about next September. So, um, the 70th celebration starts in May, and it says through summer. We don't know when that ends, but we know that Halloween season begins in August. So if you're coming in September, that's already after August. So it's going to be the Halloween season at Disneyland Resort, and the 70th will have wrapped up. Maybe there's still merchandise available since it's still technically the 70th year. So they
Yeah.
might still have some 70th merch you can buy, and maybe even some 70th decorations stick around, kind of mixed in with the Halloween potentially. But the celebration itself won't be there. So unfortunately, you probably won't be having Wondrous Journeys because they're going to have Halloween Screams fireworks show. They may or may not have that new version of World of Color. I don't see why they would take it away. So you might be able to still experience World of Color. And then as far as Paint the Night, that's up in the air too. Because typically Disney doesn't like to pay performers for that long for those extended periods of time.
I
Like
do
if
want
they're
to
gonna,
say though, last time Paint the Night was here, they did it during Halloween. So
I know it's
I
like
don't know if
up
it's
in
gonna
the
be
air. It's
cheap,
like maybe
but
they do, maybe they don't.
they did Paint the Night on Oogie Boogie days or whatever Halloween was going on back then. They used to do it. Uh, Danny, I hope we get Paint the Night just the whole freaking all the way to Christmas. Why not?
We have a question from Palm Tree 150. Says, my question is, when do we start seeing construction projects related to Disneyland Forward? Is Coco and Avatar part of that? We don't really know, right? Like, um,
Well,
there's
January Avenger Campus, right? Or February?
right, right. So it's kind of a weird thing because Disneyland Forward isn't anything, right? We've talked about this so many times. There's like a big distinction. Disneyland Forward was just the PR marketing name that Disney gave to the initiative that they had submitted to the city. So all it was the ability to use the existing land that they had to be able to build on in the future for the next 50 years. So they wanted to, or 40 years, sorry. So they wanted to the option to do that because there was a lot of land they owned, like Toy Story parking lot and the land behind all the hotels on Harbor and the Simba parking lot that they own. It's their land, but they couldn't build theme parks on it because the city wouldn't allow them to. It's not zoned for that, right? So when the city was zoned in the 90s, it was zoned, those areas were zoned for things like restaurants, parking lots, hotels, but they were not zoned for theme park use. And so Disney had all this land, and they had reached a point at Disneyland where there was nowhere to go at Disneyland unless they were getting rid of things that we already had in order to make new experiences. And they were doing that in some instances, right? Splash Mountain was one of those. There was, other attractions in both Disneyland and DCA that they had already done this to. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is another example of that. So like any reimagining, so they wanted the option to be able to expand. So like there's no when is Disneyland going to start Disneyland Forward or when is something part of Disneyland Forward. There is no Disneyland Forward. Like that's not anything, right? It was just a marketing name. They have the option now to build so much stuff in all these different spaces they couldn't. So to answer the question kind of in a long way, like we know we're getting Avengers Campus expansion. We know we're getting Coco Ride. We know we're getting an Avatar themed land. And we know we're probably getting a new entrance Esplanade for Disneyland as part of like the whole renovation for downtown Disney. And all that's supposed to happen in the next 5 years. So where those are going, we don't know anything other than Avengers Campus. We know where that's going, right? But all the other stuff we don't really know, other than we know it's going in DCA. Where they decide to build it, that's a whole other question.
Albert asks, is there a reason why Coco is the furthest away construction. You think there's a reason for that one?
Uh, is it the furthest away? Do we know that? Has that been posted somewhere?
Um, I'm gonna say there's no time frame for Coco other than it's
Yeah, I
in
didn't think
five
we
years.
had a. Yeah,
Everything is in 5 years.
yeah. Everything's everything's supposed to be done within 5 years, and we don't know if it's going to be a Coco Land either. We just know we're getting a ride, so there
Yeah,
could be a land as part of that, but they only shared with us the ride.
it's just
So
a ride somewhere.
yeah, so we don't really know yet. But that's a good speculation, right? That it'd be a really good option to have a little mini land as part of it. I mean, I hope that's the case anyway. But if they're kind of shoving it in something like Pixar Pier, which already exists as like a Pixar universe, and it's going to be just a ride inside Pixar Pier, then it doesn't probably wouldn't get a land. It would just be a ride.
You know what just happened recently too? Um, Let me see if I can bring it up. Uh, yeah, there it is.
You make me un poco.
So Disney Cruise Line just launched. Is it the Treasure? Yeah, the Treasure. Disney Cruise Line launched their new dinner, and it's all Coco themed.
Mm-hmm.
They even got Miguelito singing. Uh, that's funny that they don't show what he looks like. The actors that are from Coco, something's a little off. They got to fix some things on that. I'll look up for other photos, but the restaurant looked cool. The music, all that was cool. But a lot of people were not fans of this restaurant. Like the overall feel, the food, people did not like the Coco. That was kind of shocking.
It's kind of funny that you mentioned that, Mondo, because the consensus now for two Coco themed restaurants is not positive. So
how do you mess up Mexican food? What?
We have a Mexican restaurant on ship now with the Coco themed dining experience, which is kind of like on the Treasure that's theirs, and on the Wish they have, or was it the Wish or
yeah, it's the Wish. They have
Wish has Cinderella or Frozen.
No, it's Frozen, and it was my least favorite restaurant at all those.
Yeah, so like the themed experience like that, but then it's funny because Disneyland Paris, they have a Coco quick serve, and that's not very highly rated either. So and that's new. That just opened recently. So that's kind of like the Coco quick serve at Disneyland Paris is potentially a look into us, what we could get. I'm still on the speculation. This is Speculation Sunday, right? Yeah. I'm still on the speculation that I feel, we had a pretty. I think the only person I know that actually clocked the president saying this was David Vaughn, my friend David Vaughn, on TikTok and everything else. He had posted a TikTok and what?
The mask. I don't know. It's just like I don't know, dude. I can't. This look. It's just like you're eating dinner and then I don't know. It's just not working for me.
Well, I was just gonna say David posted that TikTok where he captured Ken Potrock when he said we want to plus up all the lands. He was talking to the media about that had come and been invited for Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and they had just finished redoing Critter Country and plussed it up into Bayou Country. And they did the same in New Orleans Square with the addition of Madame Leota Somewhere Beyond, the new placemaking around Tiana's Palace restaurant, and the new queue for Haunted Mansion. So they really kind of like plussed up the lands is what he was talking about. And so he said in an interview with the media that were there that he wants to do this to every land at Disneyland. These small incremental redos of the whole land that kind of help plus it up, right? So we've all been talking about on Disneyland speculation that Tomorrowland probably, at least in the near future, in the next, 20 years, in my opinion, is probably not going to be a big renovation. It's just not in the cards. It's not what they want to invest in. And so the whole plus up idea of him just throwing that out there, that makes a lot of sense for me on what we already had speculated, you and I, Mondo, about Tomorrowland. We said it was going to be pretty minor, like they'll have the electrification of Autopia, right? Because we've already talked about that. They've already leaked or given that to the LA Times, so we know that's coming. And so when that debuts in 2026, it's pretty safe to say then that we can expect a refreshed, plussed up Tomorrowland to debut along with it. Probably makes sense. So it's kind of like a preview. So with Ken Potrock talking about that, it's probably what we can expect. But the reason why I was saying that is that I have a feeling we need to look at like Disneyland Paris's Coco restaurant, because I have a feeling when it becomes Frontierland's turn to be plussed up, the way they're going to plus up Frontierland is we're going to see a major renovation of Rancho del Zocalo turning into a Coco themed restaurant. I can already guarantee that's going to happen. Like I know
Hey,
for a matter that's going to happen.
Disneyland is all about retheme. They're all about rethemes, right? At Disneyland, that's what they like to do.
Yeah, so that's my thought is like I've been expecting that one for a while, and as soon as I heard Ken Potrock say he wanted that plus up to touch every single land, it made sense, right? Like Frontierland doesn't have any theming really that like ties it to an IP, and so there's going to be some things that people don't want to change, like the shooting gallery, and and maybe the way that they don't change it is they retheme it to like be more toy like, and it becomes like Woody's Roundup like shooting gallery. Because I know the idea of like an actual gun range, I just don't think they want anymore. And so they got rid of the one at Magic Kingdom, but I feel like people would be like really upset if they got rid of the one at Disneyland. And so I could see like a theme coming where like a Coco restaurant comes to Rancho del Zocalo, the shooting gallery at Disneyland becomes like Woody's Roundup bar, like shooting gallery.
Yeah.
The pin store, the Westward Ho pin store, I could see that becoming like a Woody themed or like Coco themed store. Like I could easily see a lot of themes be brought into like that front part of Frontierland to help plus it up. So I feel like that and Tomorrowland are like the next two that are really like going to be hit with that like change to change things. But when I saw the Coco restaurant on the cruise ship and then the one that recently debuted in Paris, I was like, oh, I could see how this would come to Rancho del Zocalo.
Dude, I'm looking at all these foods. All of this could come to Rancho de Zocalo, dude. Like, literally. But I know it would be different, especially at a theme park. Yeah, dude. That statement from Ken Potrock, it doesn't get talked enough. I feel like you're the only one that brings it up, Danny. How like, things will be touched everywhere at Disneyland. Or Disneyland Resort. Not even just Disneyland, Disneyland Resort. I want to go to my members. Heidi, most memorable experience of 2024. What's your most memorable experience from the theme parks, Danny? 2024.
Man, I feel like
that's a good question. Out of all the theme parks,
I really did like the debut of Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I felt like that was such a fun time to like experience that. But I just gotta say, I really just overall thought that 2024 was a really strong haunt season. Like I was kind of disappointed in 2023, and 2024 just came out with a banger. Like Halloween Horror Nights and Knott's were both just so good. Like Widows and the Ghostbusters, like everything just was so good. So I feel like that was a highlight for me when I think about like good times and like stuff that we did. All the haunts was like the best. I didn't want it to end. It was sad when it was ending.
Yeah, dude, Tiana's was really good. Even though Disneyland didn't really do much, but the fact that like you get these previews and you could keep doing it, that was awesome. That was freaking awesome. And like when I did Tiana's, even though it's not Splash Mountain, it was almost like, hello, friend. I remember you. and Tiana's didn't disappoint. I remember talking about this with my sister, Danny, because she did it recently and got just drenched. Like, Tiana's...
oh, Monica finally got to do it?
Yeah, she actually did it.
to Disneyland one day and it was closed the whole day.
No, it was that same day, but they opened it like I don't know, 10 o'clock at night or 11. Like that's the only time she could have done it that day because it was closed all day. Um, like they could have easily opened this like in February or March, and that whole concept of like, gosh, it's so hot. Tiana's is the perfect thing to do because it's hot. I just want to cool off, and that whole conversation is just so much more positive than the current conversation of like it's freaking freezing outside. I don't want to mess up my shoes. I have a 1 day ticket. You know what I mean? All these 1 day tickets right now. I don't want to say Tiana's had negative review, but it could have been so much more if it just opened when it's starting to get warm but they had to open it in what did it open again, Danny? Was it November? I don't even remember it. Yeah, November.
Yeah, November. Yeah, but I agree. I think Tiana's rollout was the best. Right? We haven't seen a preview with Magic Key in so long like that, and so it was so nice to be able to have the opportunity to you don't have to like you don't have to join like a try to get a ticket online and like everyone's like the Great War trying to get a ticket to go to some event or something like that. It was just like book a reservation for the day you want to go and then try to get a virtual queue. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then you had multiple times to try a virtual queue, and it was like pretty easy to do it more than once if you wanted to. And it was so nice to be able to kind of experience that. But I feel like too, just the rollout of all the different renovated areas like Ray's Berets, Lewis's Critter Club, the new look and feel of all of Critter Country, and then the Hungry Bear barbecue jamboree. Like everything just hit really, really well. And if that's what we can look forward to, what they did in New Orleans and Critter Country for the rest of the plus ups for the lands that Ken Potrock was talking about, I'm excited for that. So
Yeah. I think my most memorable experience is just seeing my boy Max like get on rides, or just enjoy the water parks, like the fountain at Toontown is like his favorite thing at Disneyland, and running around at Goofy's house area too. But that fountain and the Minions water park, like Max just loves those things. So it was really cool to see him just have fun in the water, and because the summer was hot, man. And anytime like you would go to a pool or any water activity during summer, it was jam packed this year. Everybody was doing like cool off things, and to have the chance to take them to the theme parks was nice. I can't remember this like water park that we were trying to go to. It was like 2 to 3 hours to get in, and that not even considering what the hell is going on inside. It was just I was like, we're going to Universal. Even though it was packed at Universal, you could just walk into the water park. But yeah, and seeing Max get on the studio tour, that's like his favorite ride. Studio tour and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Those are his favorite two rides right now. So it's just cool to see Max enjoy things like through a baby's eyes, because I do these things all the time. Uh, Also, too, Heidi asked, "What is your most anticipated for 2025, Danny? Most anticipated? Uh, Give me one for Disneyland and one for Universal."
For Disneyland, it's probably the 70th celebration. Just seeing like kind of what they do. Um, I want to see Paint the Night again, right? I want to see all the stuff that comes with that, and I'm excited for that time of like any kind of major birthday celebration at Disneyland is usually a really fun time. So I'm excited for that. I would say that tied with probably just seeing what the haunts are going to be too. Like
Yeah.
all the like, there's a lot of good stuff. Like we lost two major spots at Knott's Berry Farm that have had banger mazes like in past years. So like we lost Bloodline 1842. So like that is a huge space. Like Paranormal Inc. was like long time running, massive space. Like there's a lot of room there, so they can do that. And then we also lost Waxworks, which is also like, and the reason why I like the both of those is they're both like in buildings. They're in buildings that are up year round that they can use, so they can spend the time to really kind of like do these mazes well and start them really early if they want to. And so that's why I'm excited. It's not like one where it's like half outside, half inside, like Shadowlands and Mesmer over there were, and then like even Pumpkin Eater turning into the Chilling Chambers, like that's kind of like outside. So there's like a little weather aspect to it. So I'm excited for that because that like we're probably gonna get some bangers from Knott's. And then Universal always brings good stuff with their Halloween Horror Nights. So I'm excited for that too. But I would say the 70th is probably like top of the list just
Yeah.
to see what that brings.
Yeah, for me, I think Paint the Night. Paint the Night's gonna hit really hard, really, really hard. I
I
was
feel like
just
everyone's gonna cry.
I was just talking to somebody about Paint the Night literally before I went live. That Paint the Night most likely will have like different choreograph. Whoever was involved with Paint the Night back then is not part of Paint the Night today because it's so long ago now that we had Paint the Night. And that the end song that obviously involved zippity doo dah, it is gone. Like it's speculation Sunday. I'll still say speculation, but the speculation is very strong that it's gone. What replaces it? We're gonna find out. I don't know. We've talked about it before, but the person I talked to was like, "Yeah, that song's gone." I was like, "Whoa, that's nice. I like to hear that." I wanted to ask more questions, but I don't want to spoil myself. I don't want to spoil. I think Paint the Night at Disneyland is my number one, and at Universal, Haunt season. Like it's hard to name anything else at Universal. Horror Nights, like it's the number one. I know they got all these events. FanFest has to be up there, but we don't know nothing about it. Like it's hard to be like, yeah, that's super exciting. We don't know. We don't really know. But yeah, Horror Nights. Um, yeah, it has to be that. Um, Also, too, let me see. Do you have this? Is from Jamie Lynn. Top moments from 2024 from any theme park or a disappointment? Do you have any top or disappointments from 2024, Danny?
Yeah, I think for me the biggest disappointment has probably been just the speed of construction at Disney, especially when it comes to like the renovation of downtown Disney and like the Esplanade. That was only supposed to be like 18 months, and we're already well past the 18 months. We don't even have like the candy store open yet, which although working fast on that. Earl of Sandwich still hasn't even begun construction yet. That's a hot mess. There's just going to be so
Portos doesn't
there's just going to be so
exist.
much construction. Like it's going to be weird because there's going to be so much construction everywhere this year because of how much they delayed last year and or this year. Like you're going to walk into DCA, like all of Avengers Campus and like by Cars Land's going to be under construction because of Avengers Campus expansion. And then there's going to be massive amounts of walls in the Esplanade as they start working on Portos, as they probably tear out the ticket booths, as they continue to work on the turnstiles. So you're going to encounter walls there. You're going to encounter walls around Tortilla Joe's as they're building that one. You're going to encounter walls around the Earl of Sandwich. We're going to have walls around ESPN Zone as they're building whatever is going in there now.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel I'm happy things are happening, but it's like I wish it's like I almost don't want Disney to share timelines because they almost never ever meet them anymore. So it's like just tell us like it's coming and then coming soon because when you give like a timeline, it's like it ends up just disappointing people and it's like they never hit up to it. So then people just talk negatively on it all the time, and they can't focus on how good it is when it ends up coming, because they're just like, well, this took you 3 years and it should have taken you one. So like, that kind of stuff.
Treehouse.
I just feel like that's kind of been like a running theme with them lately. So that's been disappointing.
One
But I,
disappointment that comes to mind for me, Danny, is that they just ran with World of Color 1. To me, it hurt, dude, to just have World of Color 1 still running for so long. It was brutal. Brutal for me personally.
brutality.
Me personally. What were you going to say, Danny? Keep going. Keep going.
No, I was saying for my highlight of, I don't know, for other theme parks. I don't know. I
Anything that
don't
stood
know.
out to you? Memorable experience from Disneyland side?
Well, I think they said any park
No, I
outside of
know,
Disney.
but I'm just asking. Just asking.
Um, I don't. I feel like, I'm trying to think of what like big things happened in 2024 for like other theme parks. I mean, I feel like the
It's hard
biggest
to look
thing,
back, huh? Like it's hard to look
well,
back.
I feel like the biggest thing has been just all the hype and like the reveals around Epic Universe. I think that's like the coolest thing. Like we finally got to see like everything was unveiled this year for Epic Universe, and just seeing like what's going to come there, and like seeing like what Universal can do with like a budget like that and how
Yeah.
well it's done, was really exciting. I think any good competition to like make Disney feel a little, um, like they need to be better and compete somehow is better. So I'm excited to see like what that's like, even though I won't be there opening weekend and opening, probably 6 months even. I will just, be excited to see everyone's videos and stuff for it online, because I was so excited for that time, like when they were announcing everything.
One highlight has to be D23, right? D23 came with a vengeance this year.
True.
Like, it felt like D23 compared to the previous like two. Did not feel like D23. At least to me, it didn't feel like D23. It really felt like D23, man. Magical AF everywhere, everywhere. Uh, Gosh, I'm really trying to think. It's hard to like look back at a whole freaking year, because like, what the hell happened in January this year? I don't even remember, or February for that matter. Um, I don't even know. I don't even know, man. I'm trying to think to myself if I did I do any after dark events. I can't even remember anymore. Oh man, I, you know, one thing that did surprise me a lot, like as an experience, was when I did Ghostbusters and Insidious, and I walked out like these might be some of the best mazes this year, and I didn't expect that at all. I really and Terror Tram for that matter. When we did Terror Tram, I was like, wow, this is what you guys could have done on Terror Tram this whole time. It was really those experiences like they've stayed with me. I really loved them. Pixar Fest, I've already forgotten about Pixar Fest. Did Pixar Fest stay in your heart, Danny? And did anything memorable come out of it where you're just like, God, I really love that they did that during Pixar Fest? Anything hit you like that?
I think it was good because it was like the catalyst for a lot of things, right? We got that we got a new way that Disneyland's using the Fantasyland theater, rather than it just sitting there.
Yeah,
They use it as this really cool multi-use space now that's like kind of almost a harken back to the way it was being used when it was the Princess Fantasy Fair. So it's like a return to that almost. So I think Pixar Fest was like, that was good. It kind of brought that back, because then we saw it get used again for Disney's Christmas time at Disneyland, and
yeah.
that was really cool. So maybe we keep seeing new ways that gets used for the holidays. That'll be fun. Um, I honestly even like the idea of it being used that way more than a show, like at least year round, right? Like the show can definitely be there if they bring a show back, like in the off months that they're not using it for these special holiday areas. So that's kind of fun. Maybe it gets used for something really unique for the 70th, since they won't have like a Pixar Fest. That'll be something cool too. So we'll have to wait and see. But um, I would say that's probably what sticks out for me at Pixar Fest. It didn't it didn't hit as hard as 2018, but it
Yeah,
was still really good.
yeah. I enjoyed Better Together. I feel it got a lot of hate, but I enjoyed it. It's better than nothing at DCA. It's better than nothing. Oh yeah, the no DJ. Remember that, Danny? They didn't put whatever that artistic dancing was over there by Monsters Inc. instead of a DJ. That was shockingly big disappointment. I totally forgot about that. Uh, somebody, or Valeria asked, uh, for the next few months while Disneyland's going to get ready for the 70th, do you think they'll have more entertainment for the 70th other than a parade and fireworks? I don't know. I would say there's probably not like special entertainment coming. That's my
Yeah,
opinion.
we got like you have to think about budget wise, like paint the night parade, um, a brand new world of color, and the Pixar Better Together parade all have that's like a lot of money that Disney has to spend on hiring entertainment and then hiring the support cast members that support that. So like I can't really see too much extra entertainment being added because of all those things going into play. Um, so especially like, can you imagine like on the nights in the summer when they're gonna have Paint the Night Parade, Phantasmic, and the fireworks show all in one night? Like it's like guest control for days. Like there's just gonna always be something happening. So and like Phantasmic's twice per night. So you're going like Paint the Night Parade, Phantasmic, fireworks show, then Phantasmic again.
And there's
Like
like a happy parade or something, like a
yeah,
cavalcade.
a cavalcade. Yeah. So there's just so much entertainment. I don't know. I feel like we can keep an eye on the Fantasyland Theater, like I was just saying, because maybe they add some fun little element there for more entertainment during the 70th, because they've been using it for that. Like they did, they have more entertainment there for Christmas, and they had more entertainment there for Pixar Fest. And then over at DCA, we saw things like the really cool band that Mondo and I got to see. In front of Carthay that was singing like the mariachi band that's there. That was
Uh,
fun. That was like, something totally new. They've never done like entertainment in that space that wasn't just like the Five and Dime or like the Newsboys back in the day.
yeah. Do you think the cutback that we had of entertainment is going to just kind of translate to next year, or entertainment will be more of a common thing because it's the 70th? They're going to go bigger.
I think they're already going big with all that stuff we just talked about.
Uh,
So I mean, I feel
do,
like it's
do we get Spider-Man flying through the air again? I don't know. I
maybe like
really don't
that kind of
know.
stuff. I don't know. Yeah.
I have to say I don't know. Um, I want to ask this question. I think it was Jamie B. Big disappointment for me with Disney is increased Magic Key prices and more blockout periods, and the cherry on top, not being able to go see my Oregon Ducks football team visit the parks before the Rose Bowl. Um, do you think this mark right here, Danny, has finally like they've hit that like I don't think we're gonna go to Disneyland this year, family. Do you think that's the case? That Inspire key holders has gone down dramatically from like previous year or two.
Um, I mean that's a really expensive pass now, right? It's like
$1,750, dude. 17.
I just feel like yeah, there's not a lot of people that can afford that for multiple people in a family. So that's it's definitely priced out some people for sure. And then when they get the other passes, they really have to plan their visits appropriately because if you're not getting free parking, going each time regularly like that, the parking can add up really fast. So
$35. $35
yeah,
for
So that, like, if you think about going at least even like once a month, like you're paying a monthly for your annual pass. And then depending on what pass you got, you might be paying another $35 on top of that for parking.
Woo, woo.
So
Yeah, I feel like this 1750. I feel like it's very harsh now for a lot of families, a lot of young people. Imagine an 18-year-old trying to crank out $1,800 to go to Disneyland. It's kind of great. I think overall, Disneyland's goal is to price people out tremendously so you buy your tickets. Come buy your tickets, spend your money on parking, spend your money on food. You're going to be here longer because you got to make it worth it. It's their goal. They want people to go to tickets. I still can't believe that we have a magic key at this price. Um, it's crazy, dude. No one touches. I don't think any other annual pass touches $1,000. Like out of any of the other theme parks in California, Universal I think is 800. I don't even remember what a platinum costs anymore, but it's not 1,800. Disneyland's just gone in its own area when it comes down to price. Um, Let me ask you this, Danny. Just recently, uh, on Twitter, I'm pretty sure you saw it too. Haunted Mansion's Madame Leota's Somewhere Beyond got a lot of hate because they just bought stuff. They used AI to do art. Um, do you feel like that takes away from the Disney experience? And at this point, it was a store. It wasn't in the ride. We're talking about a store. Or are you okay with what they're doing and it is what it is? Like, how do you feel about all that? All that chitter chatter. A lot of negativity came that way.
well, here's how I look at it, and this is what I said in my podcast too. And because I had a whole episode on this where I kind of like argued in favor for Disney, and I don't always do that, but some in this instance I feel like I do, and it actually is really relevant to like Haunted Mansion itself, right? Like the realities are like that there are teams that are given a budget, right? And they have to fit within budget. There's not an unlimited amount of budget. Like they have to fit in with a certain amount of budget so the teams can do what they can with it. If we think about when John Lasseter was at the helm over in Imagineering, he actually sent the team that was working, Kathy Mangum and the whole team that was working on Cars Land, he sent them on the same road trip through Route 66 that he sent his animation team on when they were making Cars, because he wanted them to see these things in real life that the movie was inspired by. And then along the way, the Imagineers, went to all these little roadside stores that are on Route 66, which really is what a lot of the things in Cars Land itself are modeled after. Especially like I think there's one specific store that looks just like Radiator Springs Curios. And it's like, they're famous for being that, and they're like an icon now because of that. But why I say that is like they grab little like accessories and little like tchotchkes and different junky things that you would find on a roadside thing, and they put it in as accessories in all these car shops because it like helped bring reality to it, right? Like we have to think about what this was. This was originally posed to us as a horse stable that was behind the Haunted Mansion, that was no longer being used as a horse stable because it's not an actual mansion being used by anyone. It's haunted and abandoned. And so Madame Leota has taken over the horse stable and kind of turned it into her like witchy like hut. Like it's like she does like her seances in there. There's a seance table with a seance room. It's where all of her like spell books are, and like all of the things that she does for like the spells and like the herbs and the charms and everything else. It's like her thing, right? So people were all up in arms that this building had been built from prefab, right?
Yeah.
And then if you look up the building, it's actually a prefab horse stable. That's what it says on the website that everyone was linking. So they bought true to what it was, right? It's a horse stable. Told us it was going to be a horse stable, so it's prefab that way. And then people were upset that they were buying things off Amazon to fill up the shelves and things like that. And I just think about like with Cars Land, like they were just buying things from random gift shops. So like if they went, what if they went to what if they literally went to like a Goodwill or some sort of like thrift store and they bought that bust that someone found on Amazon because they saw it there and it was cool. And then nowadays we can just use AI to reverse image search anything. I can open up the Google app on an iPhone or an Android phone and I can take a picture of something and it searches where I can buy that thing
Yeah.
anywhere on the internet. So I can reverse image search anything. And so we don't necessarily know they bought it from Amazon. They could have bought it from some local secondhand store, or they could have bought it from Amazon. Now, the AI art, that I understand. It's like you have a plethora of artists on demand to come up with anything sort of semi-original, and it looks like they probably did for the Madame Leota portrait, right? The one of herself in there. They
Mhm.
probably had an artist do that, but like it wouldn't have been that hard to have them do one for the bride or like the ghost bride that's in there. Like buying AI art in a time where like it's kind of controversial to do it because you have artists that you pay. Like, why would you want to have the AI art, in your location? But the reason why I say it's kind of relevant to Haunted Mansion, we have to think back to when Haunted Mansion was created. Um, Walt Disney himself was running out of money on Haunted Mansion when he was building the attraction, to the point that they didn't have money to finish the ride. And so one thing they didn't, and I've told Mondo this before and I've showed it to him in person, one thing they didn't have money to do was do lighting. They didn't have money for it and they needed to do lighting for the attraction. So what did they do? They took basic ass lights. They took paint cans from the paint cans they used to paint the Haunted Mansion. They cut holes in paint cans and they used those paint cans with holes in them for lighting in the graveyard scene. And to this day, now in 2024, those paint cans that are light canisters are still there. They've left them there as a tribute to like the team that originally did that. So next time you're riding Haunted Mansion, look down at your feet at all the lighting things that are in front of the gravestones. They're literally paint cans with the handles still attached. So even then, the teams were on limited budgets and were still having to work within their budget, right? And doing so made them use a paint can for a light thing. Now, in the day of social media, if the Imagineers did that same thing and they were caught using paint cans as light canisters on like a Cars ride, it would be an entire online kerfuffle, just like it was for this Haunted Mansion thing. They'd be like, "Oh, Imagineering's so stupid. They're using paint cans as a lighting source." But yet, when Haunted Mansion opened, it's no problem, and it's like a historical thing that they hold on to. So
Mhm.
I'm not saying that they're forgiven for using AI in their art because that can be a little bit controversial, especially since they hire so many artists. But sticking to a budget and trying to fill in this, tell a story the best way they can, I feel like they did. Like Madame Leota's, it's supposed to be an abandoned horse stable, so they literally bought a horse stable, and then it's also Madame Leota's like seance like hub, like her little thing, like she's taken it over, she lives there, like she in there. So there's like little witchy accessories all over the place telling a story. There's herbs drying outside, like because she's going to use those in like a spell or an enchantment. There's a seance table that harkens back to the original seance table from the Haunted Mansion before it got changed. Like there's all these things that tell a great story. Like I don't understand why people are so upset. And if we think about the budget cut of like the paint cans with the original versus like this team may have also had a budget. So like maybe they had to go on Amazon and get the best stuff they could because they couldn't get it. And that's what they had in the budget for right now. It's like there's no difference, but like Disney doesn't have unlimited budget just because they, make billions of dollars. There's still budgets that they have to fit under.
The only thing
So
that has unlimited budgets are Disney Plus shows. They just burn money. They burn money.
yeah, Disney Plus is the only thing that has unlimited Marvel stuff. They just can throw money away.
They just burn money. We don't care. We're burning all the money. But yeah, it's budgets. What like I could totally see the scenario of like you run through all this money and there's certain cool things that you're like, this has to be made, and whatever this cost is, like this has to happen. And I think the in the Madame Leota, the is it called a seance ball? I guess that
Well, that's
ball.
her crystal ball, and she has seances around the table, right?
All that's where all the money went, all right there. And then the big money went like they built stuff up top and they themed the whole room. So I could see it. They're just like, we only have $10,000 left. What the hell are we gonna do? Amazon. Um, I get it, man. And they're probably working with just nasty timelines that Disney's dropping because that Haunted Mansion store got built in record time. We haven't seen Disneyland work like that in a long time. Maybe San Francisco was pretty damn fast, but yeah, Disney from the ground up, man, we haven't seen them do a project that fast. I can't even recall. I don't know. Maybe Din Tai Fung was pretty fast, I guess, kinda. But yeah, it's just budgets. They run out of money. They run out of money. We got a super chat from Miss Sapphire. Thanks for the fun year, though. Thank you. Thank you. Renewed all my passes. Renewed my Inspire for the last time. Once it expires, I'm done. Is there any way we talk her out of this, Danny? Because in all reality, 2026 might be a ton of construction walls everywhere.
Yeah, no, I think for the average person, Miss Sapphire is probably right on, right? Like 2025, they're going to start a lot of construction in 2025, and it's just going to get worse with 2026. She might be right. You know, waiting the 5 years and just taking advantage of the Southern California ticket. I have so many friends now that are just doing the SoCal tickets, and for them, that's enough. They can go 3 times, and they already planned all their 3 visits. They're going to go once during this season, once during that season, and they've got all their visits planned. And for them, that's enough. And they can keep doing that from year to year to year, and then maybe 2030 when we've got a new Avengers campus, probably a refreshed Tomorrowland with the plus up, refreshed Frontierland, and a new Coco's attraction and a new downtown Disney. Like that for them, it's like maybe 2030. Like they're like, let's buy a pass again because there's like it's a good time to go and experience all this stuff for a while. And then they can look at it that time, and who knows, maybe we get different kinds of passes by then.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Danny, like if you're having the mindset of like I got one more in me and then I might take a break, well, your one more in you is the greatest pass that you could have anytime in the next years because you're having the 70th. You have Disney dedicated to provide big things for a long time. Because when you think about it, from May all the way to Christmas, it's a banger year. Paint the Night, Wondrous Journey, into Halloween stuff, which is usually kind of whack, honestly, at Disneyland. DCA is funner, but and then Christmas is jam packed. So like you have a lot going on for those 7 months, 6 months. But 2026 should be a lot of construction walls.
Yeah.
I would imagine they start Autopia stuff by then, right?
Yeah,
How
and
much
also,
longer are
like,
they going to
Mondo,
wait on that, Danny?
like Mondo, I think a good example was right here, Danielle Rucker in the chat. Honestly, if I was an average guest and with a family and I wasn't like, a Disney enthusiast or, trying to cover it as a content creator, I would do that. I'd be doing the three ticket, the Southern California ticket, and the one After Dark event. I think that's the combo right there, right? What 3 days that you can use over a certain period of time, and then one After Dark event. Pick it that like I want to do 90s night, I want to do Pride night, I want to do Oogie
Star
Boogie
Wars.
Dash, whatever. Like for me, if I was doing it, Mondo, I'd probably do like the 3-day ticket and then Oogie Boogie Bash so that I could experience like the holiday season and then like some other times throughout the year. That's probably what I would do. And honestly, that would get me through until I felt like I needed to buy a pass again.
Yeah, like for me, this is what I would do. I'm not a content creator. I'm just a dad trying to go to Disneyland. I would for sure just wait till there's these 3 day, $67 per day tickets. I would do that in the beginning of the year. Uh, One after dark event, whatever the case might be. Probably Oogie Boogie, just like a Halloween vibe. You know what I mean? And then at the end of the year, do another 3 days. So you do 6 days and an after dark event. You're looking at a good price. Um, Obviously parking is a freaking ton, but carpool, just carpool and have people combine powers. Yeah, but I feel it. I feel a lot of people. A lot of people are. They're like, I don't know about that 2026. Um, Man, that Autopia news. We were all so excited, but like, when is that going to happen? Who knows, man? Who freaking knows? Um, I want to go over one thing. We're gonna shift a lot here, Danny. We're gonna go a totally different route. Um, HN Nightmares. HN Nightmares dropped a speculation map. I just wanted to go over it with you, Danny. We won't be too long on here, but I just wanted to go over it with you.
No,
Um,
let's do it.
for all we know, these could all be wrong. But for whatever reason, HN Nightmares, they were pretty damn right last year. There was like one or two changes, but for the most part, they were right. So this is just what's being speculated, at least from what my eyes could see. They're saying, I'm going to run them all by you, Danny. They're saying that this ghost right here could be Beetlejuice. Parisian Courtyard, Monstros 3. That's just what people are saying. The Mummy, people are saying that could be The Last of Us because it's a horse. I guess the horse in Last of Us Part 2 was a big deal. People are saying that this one behind Transformers could possibly be, what was it again? Cinema Slaughter, which I guess is Orlando has had it. They just had the second one. They're going to bring
Yeah.
it back
Why the
this way.
Christmas tree though?
Oh no! All these are Christmas themed. It's just because it was Christmas.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's just Christmas for whatever reason. But this one right here, they're saying it's Terrifier because in the newest Terrifier, Art the Clown has a beard that's Santa, and then this one, who freaking knows what this toy thing is? How do you feel about those speculations? Does that excite you? You don't care? Super excited?
No, I think I think if that's true, that's lining up to another banger year, right? They need those fun, high, big name mazes to bring people in. Beetlejuice is one of those. Beetlejuice was wildly popular the last time.
Yeah.
Uh, so if they had a second one that was based off of the new movie, that could be really, really good. Um, and then in addition to that, Terrifier, people love Terrifier, right? So that would bring a lot of people in and of itself, for sure. Last of Us, another huge name that could draw people in. All of these things individually could get people to buy tickets. Like, and that's what Universal does is when they drop these one at a time, they always like sell tickets based on what people are excited for.
Yeah.
And I think any one announcement of any one of those could be something that would sell tickets. Um, I really would love a Five Nights at Freddy's, but I think someone posted one time in one of our chats saying that like they already spoke to like the creator of the franchise and they don't want it.
They just don't want to do it. They don't want to
Yeah,
do
they
it.
don't want to do it. So like I guess we have to just give up on the idea of that ever being the case, but it would be such an amazing maze. But they just I guess don't want to do it. They don't want to give the rights to do it. So I think we have to give up on Five Nights at Freddy's. Um, Monstros 1 and 2 been great. I don't even know what Latin American monsters are left to do. But I mean, hey, maybe it's like they revisit like some of the ones they already did, just like do different ones, you know?
We
Like they
we
had
were saying,
they had a maze that was just La Llorona, but like maybe they have La Llorona in it with like some of the other ones.
We were saying, Danny, why don't they do a mashup of all the Scare Zone and the houses and just put them together in the third iteration? So it's nothing new, but it's just everything in one. It would be, maybe it's too crazy.
Or they could like make it like the icons one, right? Like what are the ones everyone thinks about? Chupacabra, La Llorona, and maybe like Kukui, right? Like those are the three that like most people in like a Latin family, like Latin heritage, would speak about those generally. You know what I mean? Like I think La Llorona being like the most. So like those would be, maybe they do like a banger one where like it just they have like those three like top ones.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I think that could be fun if they did it like that.
Jeff
Last of Us.
says, I'm hoping the toy one is an original from Scare Zone Toys, but it may also be imaginary from Blumhouse. What if that cookie looking thing is Krampus theme show? You know, that's the first time I've heard that one. That's crazy. Krampus show? Damn. Did you watch Imaginary, Danny?
No.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either. I think a lot of people like that one. Did you play Last of Us 2? Are you in the Last of Us 2 lore?
I am, and it would be good.
Why would it be good? Why would it be good? Like there's just more scary stuff, or just cool scenes played out, I guess?
I think the scenes that they can choose to play out are really cool. They can make some super iconic moments. So those, like, they can recreate some really cool moments with like the way they did with the first one where they chose to recreate certain scenes. So that's what I'm hoping that they do with this one. And there's a lot for them to choose from. So I feel like that would be a good one. And it would definitely get people to come buy tickets for that. And those monsters just are scary in and of themselves. So
Yeah.
like it's gonna do well either way. But this is a good speculation map. Like I think it's if any of these came true, it'd be good. Cinema Slaughter in Orlando was like really, really popular, and so far the mazes that we've had that have been originals at Orlando, like they've been good here too. So like, Universal comes up with some good originals, but it just seems like they give them to Orlando really more than us.
Yeah, I'm excited if that's the speculation, Matt. For me, it's Terrifier. If we get Terrifier, I don't really care everything else. Terrifier is it. That is it.
Dude, I still want one of my favorite mazes ever at Orlando was Graveyard Games, and that was an original maze. And I wish that they would have like our interpretation of Graveyard Games, because I think that was such a fun maze, and it was like a cool concept that's like spooky. So that one was like, I think that'd be a fun way to see how we interpret that as well.
Graveyard Games. Let me see. I never did that one, Danny.
Dude, that was fun. That one, at least the one in Orlando, they had a pretty big. It was one of the big like showroom ones, so they had a lot of space. So you walk into a cemetery with like a mausoleum, and they like built everything. And so basically, you're coming across teenagers that are like messing around in a cemetery, and they're like graffitiing the headstones and like just totally like disrespecting the dead and all that kind of stuff. And basically they break into the wrong mausoleum and like angry the spirits, and they just basically get destroyed, like murdered and by all the vengeful spirits and stuff. And it's a really cool concept. And it was a fun maze. It was very spooky to walk through.
Damn. Bring it over here. Damn, dude. Great. You always mention Graveyard. I gotta watch a walkthrough of that. I don't recall ever seeing a walkthrough of that. We got 42 months from the Doctor. The best slot player I know is the Doctor. Always winning. He's always winning. Happy last Sunday of 2024. Let's go. Hell yeah, Raul. Love you, brother. The
How's it going,
mummy.
doctor?
The mummy is pointing in a different location than usual. Is it really? Let me see. I'm zooming in. I'm zooming in. So they're calling it the mummy, but the mummy's over here. But this maze is on the left side. That's a really weird spot for a maze, because that maze is like under the escalators. How would that work? What?
I
Uh,
think it all depends on. They might have some. They might have some insight on some of the construction that is going to be taking place on the lower lot there to bring the studio tram. So there might be a maze in a different spot than we're used to because they have to work around that construction.
Damn, that is true. Huh.
And
Wow.
I'm thinking about that too, Mondo, with like the way that we entered the mazes this year was so different on the lower lot. And if the tram coming to where it's going to be, supposedly going to be coming to is happening, like we can't load that way. So we're going to have to like load very differently. Like I almost feel like the way that we did the transition, which I hated, but liked because I loved going into that old soundstage where they filmed Universal Monsters. But I hated the way you had to get over there.
Huh.
Uh, like I have a feeling that's probably going to be a staple maze as they have more construction down on the lower lot that starts to come up because they're going to have to work around some of that because even though they may be able to fit it, like that's normally where you would go to get in queues for all these things. And
Yeah.
if they don't have space for queues there, they're gonna have to put the queues elsewhere, which means the mazes might shift themselves. So
Well, in all reality, they usually start working on stuff in April-ish. So maybe we see things.
I think you're gonna have to keep an eye on that, like closer than you ever have, Mondo, because I feel like we could see a lot of that lower lot stuff change.
We got lower lot, escalator hills, something. Uh, Fast and Furious is being worked on. Whatever the hell they're gonna do for Fan Fest, I'm assuming we're gonna see work for that soon. Um, I don't think these are things that they just roll out and then they just put them backstage again. I feel like some permanent things are going to be placed for Fan Fest wherever they go. I don't know. I feel like signs of Fan Fest are going to start happening February because that it's an April thing. So 2 months. Super chat from Johnny. Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? Hope everyone having a fire day. He wants to pet the dog. I don't. What dog are we talking about? I, I don't know. Did we talk about a dog?
No.
Yeah, I'm like, what are we talking about? 2 words, Metro sets, dude, for real. No, we are walking under the escalator to the maze like this year's HHN. I don't know. Everything's up in the air where all these mazes drop. Things change so much. Um, Something tells me it's probably just an air. I don't know. We'll see what happens down at the lower lot. Um, Danny, I had a chance. Look at this thing. I want to talk. It's not theme park related, but I just want to talk about it. Hold on. I think it was one of my replies. Um, so next year, there's quite a bit of movies that are coming out, and there it is. The crazy part about next year, Danny, is that it's sequel mania. Just sequels upon sequels upon sequels. Look at the amount of sequels next year, Danny. Saw, Nobody to, I don't know what the hell that is. Tron, Zootopia, Megan, 28 Days Later, or 28 Years Later, Freaky Friday, Conjuring 4. Just look at that.
Conjuring. I didn't know Conjuring was coming out.
Yeah, The Conjuring 4. Den of Thieves. I didn't know Mortal Kombat 2 was coming. They waited too long on that. Downtown Abbey 3. What the hell's that? Uh,
Downton Abbey.
I don't know what that is.
It's a very popular British show.
Oh, it's a show?
Mhm.
Black
Yeah,
Phone
it's
2. Final Destination 6. Is there anything that you're looking forward to next year, Danny, movie wise? Like a top two?
pretty much like everything you named.
Oh,
The number one
Avatar?
thing yeah, the number one thing I'm looking forward to next year is Avatar, hands down. I'm the biggest Avatar fan, so that's like highly anticipated for me. So I will probably be seeing that in theaters at least 3 times.
Yeah.
Uh, Wicked for good for sure. Um, Anything Five Nights at Freddy related, I'm there, so I'd be down for that. Zootopia is one of my favorite movies, so seeing a sequel of that's good. Tron Ares, excited about that.
Yeah, dude, were you
I
into
feel
the
like
first Tron?
Disney's gonna have a banger box office year next year, and it just kind of I think Peter from Ordinary Adventures was kind of saying this, and other people too. It's like Disney that look at this year in 2024, like everything that was original like didn't do that good, but like everything that was a sequel did so well. Inside Out 2, Moana 2, like all these sequels just like gangbusters. Next year they're going to have Avatar 3, which is going to do incredibly well. It's going to make them $1 billion. So that'll be, a huge hit. Zootopia 2 is going to be a huge hit, especially internationally. Um, they're gonna do super super good with um, what's
Snow
the other
White.
Disney? No,
You could just check that one. It's just too much
yeah,
controversy with that one.
yeah. Freaky Friday. Sorry, Freaky Friday 2 was the one I was talking about. I think all these things like it's gonna make Disney so much money. All these sequels,
Well,
so then they're
Daddy
gonna be like,
Stitch. We're gonna
we
get
just
Lilo and Stitch.
well, yeah, but that's not a sequel; it's a live action.
Yeah,
I feel
but
like that's the only live action that's gonna do well recently. It's gonna be Lilo
yeah,
and
Elio's coming out next year.
care less about that. I don't
I
even care.
know Elio.
I could care.
There's just nothing to that one. Ain't nobody care. Ain't nobody
I
care.
will absolutely be only seeing that because I have AMC A list.
Dude, I always feel like waiting on Elio. And, like, is it worth it? Okay, I'll go watch it. Tron Ares. That's how I feel about this one, Danny. I don't care about Tron. So
Oh, I
over
do.
it. Yeah, I'm over Tron. Zootopia 2. I feel like that's gonna be a banger, dude. They got a lot riding on Zootopia. We got all these land, like the land just came. We're gonna get Zootopia in Animal Kingdom. Maybe Zootopia comes to Disneyland Forward for all we know. Uh, that's 2026 stuff. Um, Man, this doesn't have all the list. I want to see the full list. I guess they're just considering it Disney. Disney has so much coming out next year. It's wild, dude. It's wild.
And it's all sequels. So I feel like if it does, it's going to be like one of their best years, and they haven't really had a good year recently, right? So like, what does this tell Disney? Everyone wants sequels. So it's like Peter was saying, like, man, this means they're just going to be making sequels now, and we're like never going to have original stuff because the sequels are what make them money. And that's kind of how we got onto this whole live action thing, right? Because they put out um, Cinderella and they put out Beauty and the Beast, and they did so incredibly well and made so much money that Disney was just like live action everything, and then people got tired of it. So like I feel like they're gonna do the same thing with sequels. Like we're gonna have a banger year of sequels next year, and Disney's gonna be like, okay, make 1 million sequels because that's what everyone wants, and then people are gonna get tired of sequels.
Is there like a sequel that you just wanted to be made, Danny? Like off the top of your head, that just deserves something that deserves a sequel from Disney?
Oh, that doesn't have one.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't have one.
Gosh, I don't know. I don't know. Like off the top of my head right now that I could think of. Um, not that I know of. I mean, I would have said Zootopia, but they're doing that already. So because I feel like that one left us on such a like a way that the story could move forward. So that was like one I wanted.
I just searched online like what movies deserve a sequel. This is from Reddit. Somebody said The Aristocrats. Does that deserve a sequel?
I don't know. I haven't seen Aristocats in so long.
Or Great Mouse Detective deserves a sequel? What is
Sky
Sky High?
High.
What is Sky High?
It was a Disney Channel original movie, I think, or like it was. I don't think it was. I think it was a regular movie, but it was like in the same vein as like a Disney Channel original movie where it's like cheap budget, like cheesy, like teenager drama kind of show. And it was
I
like,
never seen this.
yeah,
What?
it was like Hogwarts, but for superheroes.
What?
Yeah.
What in the freak? I never heard of that. Never heard of Sky High. You watched it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've watched it.
That's
Oh, you know what's
crazy.
funny, Mondo? In the chat, Lord Cheese the First or Chise, I don't know how to say the name. Princess and the Frog. Hello, you're supposed to get a Tiana show that explained the storyline of like Tiana's business moving forward and like all this stuff, and we never got it. So turn it into a movie because you did that with Moana. Give us this Tiana sequel because we want to know how her storyline progresses. Give a little bit more background to the attraction.
I'm on board for a Tiana movie than a show. I could care. I don't want a show. I want a movie. Put it in the theater. Put it in the theater.
We got a lot of Sky High fans in the chat, Mondo.
Yeah. Sky High, best superhero movie ever? No way. Y'all tripping. I don't believe
Mondo,
this.
that's your homework. That's your homework tonight or tomorrow. You have to watch Sky High on Disney Plus.
It was more like Disney version of X-Men before they got X-Men.
Yeah. It's literally X-Men, but like in high school.
What? I never heard of that. Well, it sounds like that needs a sequel. What about this one right here? It says Treasure Planet and Atlantis. Those never got a sequel.
Atlantis has a sequel.
Oh, it does. Okay.
It was one of the Disney like straight to video sequels.
Damn, Bug's Life never got a sequel.
Just Bugs Life.
Damn, a lot of people are saying Treasure Planet. Heavyweights. They could never do that movie again, I feel. Yeah, a lot of people are saying Bugs Life. Damn, Sky High, dude. I keep when I look backwards, Danny. I find these things that were amazing that I never knew existed. We got Maximum Herald celebrating 30 months. Fantasia 2 EDM. What is he? What is that? What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
like techno music.
Fantasia techno music. Have you ever enjoyed yourself a Fantasia, Danny? Like you're just like I'm in the mood for that.
No,
that's a weird cup of tea to. You know what? I want to watch Fantasia.
The only thing I'll watch is like I'll like sometimes I'll YouTube the scene of Mickey's sorcerer, right? Because that's like so iconic from that. But like that's it.
Yeah. Big Hero 6 sequel. They did a show though. That got shows. Big Bad Beetleborg. Beetleborgs is Disney? No way. I never knew that. I don't. Is it? The Tiana show is coming. My friend's partner currently working on it in Canada. Wow. Well, that's the most we've heard since that thing got announced. Like I honestly feel like 5 years ago.
Give us the storyline. We need it.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You going to Disney before Christmas? If I can, whenever January dates open up. But
I think Mondo and I have plans to go the first weekend after.
I would love to. I want to enjoy the DCA stuff more, and then watch this. I really haven't even enjoyed like a full on snow moment in Main Street. I haven't had a chance. I've just been on the go so much. They need a Goofy Movie 3. There's a Goofy Movie 2?
Yeah, like extreme goofy movie or whatever.
A Goofy Movie 2? What the heck is this thing, Danny? Did you
It's
watch it?
like extreme goofy movie or something.
What in the world? An extremely goofy movie.
Yeah.
What is this? Wow, I never heard of it. I just feel like it's not good though. I feel like that's not good. Uh, I truly think Disney wants us to forget about Tiana's show announcement. Yeah, it's been so long. It's been so long. Uh, are you planning to do anything on New Year's Eve, Danny? This is right around the corner.
Not theme park wise, no. No theme parks for me on New Year's Eve. Um,
You're like, I'm
I
away from that.
love Knott's Berry Farm on New Year's Eve, but it's a little crazy at Knott's Berry Farm. And trying to get like food on New Year's Eve at Knott's Berry Farm is just a little too crazy for me. So if I can't do Disneyland on New Year's Eve, I don't do theme parks. And I don't want to do the one at Universal because it's too expensive.
Yeah. I want to talk about one of the last things to talk about, Danny. Right here. I think this will be our last stuff.
Oh, before you go, Maya Lissa says she loves Extremely Goofy Movie. Mondo, it's basically Max goes to college, but Goofy has to go back to school to get his degree so that their adventures happen on campus together, and it's so funny.
What? I literally never knew it existed. Is there more power line? Probably not.
You know what I want for 2026, 2025, Mondo?
Yeah.
I want you to dedicate a members only or a bonfire every week where you watch a movie that you've never seen on Disney Plus and then you talk about it.
I should do that with the members.
Yeah.
We should do Sky High 2025. That's our first movie. I'm intrigued with Sky High. Uh, that does sound like a cool thing. I want to talk. This is the last thing I want to talk about, Nanny. Recently, I had a Spaces and a topic of conversation why Universal is thinking about a hotel, thinking about maybe there's expansion, not necessarily retheme, but expansion. And why is Universal doing the things they're doing? Well, it goes to attendance. When you look at attendance, this is what it. This is just some chart. I don't know how freaking accurate this is, but this is a chart from QTimes.com. If you go from 2006, they were at 4.7 million, and now in 2023, they're at the highest they've ever been at 9,600,000. For reference, obviously the big king is Disneyland. Disneyland, they're just ripping it. 14 million back in 2006. The highest, which obviously 2019, they were at 18,600,000. And they're almost there again in 2023 at 17,250,000. What do you think about the Universal side? We really won't go into Disneyland. Disneyland is just ridiculous. It's always packed. But the fact that Universal has, in a sense, really hasn't expanded. They've been kind of the same park for the most part, but the attendance has changed. What are your thoughts on this right here, Danny? This chart. This is Hollywood.
This is, I mean, it's a good indication, right? There's, after COVID, there's been a lot of travel back to LA and Hollywood and coming into that space. And things are only looking better for Universal, right? They've got so many things that they've got planned for the park, and they really have to ramp up because the Olympics will be in LA in 2028. So that's a whole other slew of people coming into LA that wouldn't normally be there. And so they want the people to be able to spend the time there. If they want them to come for the Olympics, but book their Universal hotel for the time that they're going to be there to also go to Universal and also do the Olympics. So I think they're trying to take advantage of that, and I think the big difference is that Universal did a lot of things to get people to come experience Universal. Whether that was offering like really great Southern California deals for annual passes, like buy a ticket, get a year free kind of thing with Costco and all that stuff. It's really like I feel like they really showed that like, hey, come once, and then the people that I've talked to that I know that don't ever go to Universal that went, they're like, I want to go back and do Universal again. And I think just people just for a long time didn't really go for a long time, and then now that people started going because maybe they can't afford Disneyland or they can't afford a pass to Disneyland, all of a sudden Universal seems like such a fun alternative, and then the future is looking really good for Universal too. So I feel like it's just they're on a trajectory of growth, and they don't want to let it go, and they shouldn't.
Yeah, it's crazy. Um, well, this is the answer to why Universal Hollywood could get investments like expansions, Harry Potter, more Super Nintendo World, brand new things we don't even know exist at this point in time, more studio tour. This is wild that Universal's at 9.6 million guests. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know if they could ever touch Disneyland numbers because 18 million or 2023 17 million. That's freaking crazy. Can you believe that, Danny? That 17 million people in 2023 went to Disneyland. 17 million people. That's a lot of ticket money. Like, I just want to do the math real quick. We'll do an average of $145 ticket times
Just do $100 even, Mondo,
$100 even.
because some of those people could be annual passes. So that way you're kind of like evening out.
Okay, 17 million. Dude, it's not even giving me numbers. It's giving me E. Look at this.
EE.
It's dude, damn, Disneyland makes so much money. It's wild. From the hotel, the tickets, parking, food, all the dining plans that are going, all the dining packages, every freaking dude, it's insane. But yeah, Hollywood, the reason that things could be changing for the better in regards to expansion, big investments, a hotel, it's right here. This graph is the perfect example. Like they ain't thinking about anything in this range, 4 million, but you're starting to get 9 million, and the fact that like they went from like the pandemic to 9 million again, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
People want Universal. They want Universal. Maximum Herald super chat dropping 20. Mondo Danny, Mystery Base, Sonic, Max, Five Fires, maximum gratitude for y'all. Hey, thank you. You, Maximum Herald. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate your kindness. Super chat. Also, too, our Knott's Adventure. Did Danny, did you renew as a Prestige pass holder again? I don't know if you noticed, but the merch food discount went up to 15% a couple weeks ago for Prestige passes.
I'm telling you, Mondo, there's no reason for you to not get Prestige.
Wait.
You said you were going to do it. I think the ability for you to be able to use a fast lane each time, that's you don't think about that because like you never ride stuff at Knott's because you can't do it. So what about like going on Calico and you don't want to wait but you want to cover like new stuff?
Yeah.
You just go your fast lane and go on it.
Season pass.
Every visit.
Prestige. How much is it? $400. $400
And then
VIP
you gotta add your
lounge.
drink plan.
Oh, this one comes with parking too. You don't have to add
That's how
parking.
you get the prestige parking.
Yeah, unlimited visits, blah blah blah. You get Soak City too. Include Boysenberry Festival. What? I'm gonna consider it. I'm in the running for it. Danny's been wanting me to get it.
Dude, Mondo, just for each visit, being able to do either log ride,
Yeah,
ghost
I would
rider,
go straight to log ride every time. That would be the one.
ghost rider, calico mine ride, like any three of those, whenever you want to do it with the fast lane, it's like worth it right there.
All right, all right, all right. If I do renew, I'd probably get that one. I might as well.
Arnott's Adventure. Fastlane is clutch in summer for the log ride. We used it all summer.
Dude, log ride line is brutality. It feels like all year it's been insane.
Jesse Pie in the chat. Me and my boyfriend are both renewing our passes. Prestige, the preferred parking is awesome.
Yeah, dude, Danny's been saying that for a while too, literally. Member chat, Allie A, Pop Fires. Happy holidays to all of you. Happy I was able to catch a live. Can't wait for our magic keys to get unblocked. Me too. Me too. I'm missing, for me, Danny, I'm missing DCA more than Disneyland right now. Because that's where all the bands are. You know, just go chill over there. I'm missing that. Yeah, but thank you, Ali A. All right, Danny. Closing thoughts. Closing thoughts on everything, man.
Yeah, I like the theme of this show. I like that we kind of went over some of the misses, some of the wins of 2024, and what we're looking to in 2025. I think there's a lot of great stuff for Disneyland, for Knott's, for Universal this coming up year. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see it all and see kind of what ends up becoming with it all. Right, like so much can happen in a year. Like who knows? Like, you know, there's potentially the TikTok ban coming in January, and maybe that sparks a whole new social media. And then like there's a whole new social media that like emerges, and then that brings like a whole new thing of theme park, you know, aspect. Like who knows? Like so much could change. So especially when it comes to social media and the theme park. So I'm excited for that too.
If TikTok does get banned, everybody's going to Instagram. I already know it. Instagram. I would feel Instagram,
Shorts.
maybe YouTube short. I feel like it's Instagram. Instagram, I think that would be the one that benefits the most. Uh, yeah, it would be Instagram. I forgot about the TikTok ban thing. I don't look it up or nothing, but I forgot that was happening. Uh, my closing thoughts. Incredible 2024. I feel like D23 really hyped me up for the next 5 years. And at the same time, the big promise of Disney is that the next 5 years is where they really drop money. So we have like 10 years of crazy stuff might happen and change at Disney's, all their experiences. So I'm excited. I'm very excited. I can't wait to finally start seeing the construction for Avenger Campus, and I'll cover the hell out of that. And at the same time, Downtown Disney is going to be fire. We got so much on the horizon in reality.
Yeah.
Downtown Disney is honestly going to be one of the coolest places that you could just chill and eat and just be there. What were you going to say, Danny?
I said Mondo's gonna actually brave the Pixar Pal around just to cover the construction of Avengers Campus for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. The key is to do non-swinging, though. I realized that. There was one time where I did go up there on a swinging, and all I thought was like, "This is stupid. Why did I do the swinging? I should always do the non-swinging if I'm trying to get an update." But I'm just excited to cover. I'm excited to cover so many things next year. It's going to be really cool. A really cool year in 2025. I feel like it's going to be a special year because a lot of the future is like happening now. A lot of moving parts everywhere. Maybe we even see Montezuma actually be real. Maybe.
And we're hoping that the first speculation Sunday of 2025 will be a whole new look with a new platform. Maybe.
Yeah, I think it
We'll see.
happens. I think it happens. Well, Danny, thank you for every Speculation Sunday. Dude, 2024 is in the books for Speculation Sunday. Thank you to all the members. It means so much for all the support. And like I said, we got so much on the horizon for next year. And thank you to
And
the
Happy
Fly
New Year.
Flyer community. What'd you say, Danny?
I said, and Happy New Year. to
Happy New
everyone.
Year! 2025! All right, everybody. We're going to be firing it down. Smash that like button. We are firing it down, firing it down. The Catley Bay, just as Danny, are calling it a day. I'm the main host, Mondo. Ah!